Can you all hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I don't stay back there. Can you hear?
Can't hear me.
No. Can you hear now?
Just yell.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. So, welcome to Alberton, and thanks for coming. We're getting married. So, tonight we're going to, Brooke and I are going to tell vows to each other, and we've invited our family to also give us a vow or some kind of piece of advice that we should agree to supplement our vows. Something that only our families might know about us or something like that. And then we're going to exchange rings.
Which are made out of the elk antler that Todd killed last
Nice.
fall.
Very nice.
Very
Sweet.
cool.
And then we're going to have dancing, and the band's going to play, and food. And people have been asking about our name situation. There's a lot of confusion. We didn't merge our names. We have an alias or something, but we're both keeping our names. So until we might revisit it if we feel differently or have kids or something like that. But so for now, I'm Todd Skibby and she's Brooke Barnett.
Sweet.
Okay.
So at the winter solstice, you guys know that we had our legal marriage performed by the mayor of the town here, and it was really special to us. But to us, the legality of marriage isn't really what being married is about. So we asked everybody to come here today to witness us vow to each other and to everybody what we really think that marriage is about. And that's why we made this crazy ceremony thing. So.
Awesome. Way to go.
Not too long ago, none of us really thought that we would be here today. Brooke and I, when we first met, were sure that we were never getting married. And our families knew it, and well, now we're here.
Took the plunge.
So, there's a lot of things that I love about Brooke, and our reasons why we're getting married. This is really funny. When we first met, we met on Match.com, and so we emailed each other for a while before we met. And right before we had our first date, I was going to Mardi Gras with some friends, and Brooke said that if I didn't contract any diseases, that I should call her.
So what, did you go get tested?
So apparently it worked.
You mean like the flu?
You either did go get tested or didn't do shit at it.
But Brooke is also really smart and really compassionate, and she's really beautiful. She teaches me a lot of stuff, you know, about what life is about and about what's important. And so I'm excited.
Nice.
My turn.
That's it.
Okay.
That covers it.
Yeah.
So, and I'll just say some of the reasons that Todd is the person I'm standing here with today. And I'm so totally going to cry. But when I first met Todd, when we first met, my favorite album was a bluegrass album, and it happened to be Todd's screen name on Match.com, and he'd never actually heard the album, so it was like totally lucky coincidence. And
meant to be.
you know, fate. And so when I first met Todd, though, he was like just such an amazingly peaceful person, and silly and gentle in a way that I just didn't know that a person could be. and that was scary. And because it was definitely not the plan at the time. But the plan at the time was to go and spend lots of time outside, and I got myself a tent, and I was like gonna go be like wild woman in the wilderness and just, you know, date whoever I came across on Match.com, but it was not a priority. And Todd happened to be like already out in the wilderness, and just totally like was a portal for me to like finding like, oh, he knows where the public lands is. Like, the man is a master of research, and like just has shown me so much. And the other thing that I always say about Todd is that before I met him, I was doing a lot of reading and studying. I was a student and, you know, watching TV and living that kind of life. And, you know, the majority of the things that I looked at were like 20 feet or closer to me. Like, I had total near vision. And after spending just like a few weeks with Todd and fishing and hiking and stuff, I realized how often, like how my actual physical vision had expanded. And I was seeing landscapes, and I was seeing, you know, scenery, and I was seeing things far away. And I felt like that integration and that balance was so important to me.
Sweet.
And the last thing is that Todd is a wonderful communicator. Over the last 6 months, since we got married, I was like, yeah, we got married, but now we're having a wedding. And it really has felt like one in the planning of it. And, you know, so as we've talked about doing our vows, we've had to talk a lot about what in the hell it is we are doing right now. And Todd has just been so amazingly, like, present in our conversations and, like, digging into the same, like, places that that we both, like, feel like we have to go in order to make this a real thing and not, you know, something that feels inauthentic. And so Todd's a really good communicator and active listener, and I treasure those things about him. So, no, Jen, it's cool. I was going to help him. Jen, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it at all. Oh my God, don't worry about it. Okay, so what does marriage mean to us? We feel like the world is an incredibly complicated and unknowable place, and that surviving within all of that, like, paradox means opening your heart large enough to accept, you know, like, to be not judging about what's good or what's bad, but instead just, like, to learn to live unconditionally and just in the present moment, flowing in the present moment. And we feel like that by learning to love each other, we can learn to love ourselves in all of that contradiction and confusion, and ultimately, you know, experience a love that is big enough that allows us to sort of go beyond, like, inherent in the beginning of any relationship is the end of the relationship, you know, by death or, you know, breaking up or whatever. And so we want to be conscious of the fact that we're trying to undertake a love that can somehow survive the end of this relationship, however it, you know, comes, like something big enough to, like, hold the universe. So, and how do we do that? By being present, by being able to contain the opposites, and by witnessing for each other. So, without further ado,
Nice.
Yeah, beautiful.
I, Todd Skibby, in the loving presence of our families and friends, the Clark Fork River, Plateau and Cinderella Mountains, the trees, birds, and big sky, and vowing to love you, Brooke Barnett. This means that I will be vigilant in maintaining honesty in my communication and integrity in my actions. I will treat you with respect. I will diligently honor my own and your personal growth, and not to fear, but to embrace changes in ourselves and in our understandings of ourselves.
I, Brooke Barnett, in the loving presence of our families and friends, the Clark Fork River, Plateau and Cinderella Mountains, the trees, birds, and big sky,